So I feel stupid. I'll show you this actually right here. This is my lock picking set. And I usually have it with my bag, my travel bag, in my side box, along with the spare key to this truck. Today I have my lock picking kit and my spare key in the cab and locked myself out of the truck. So I had to call a locksmith. The first people were across the street and they wanted 150, which is the max. It's actually the legal maximum. I believe over here, yeah, it's the legal maximum. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that because they said, well, haha, and kind of laughed like, you're in a semi, we're going to charge you 150. It's like, okay, no, I don't play that game because I know getting into a car or semi, it's the same thing. Um, I've done locksmithing as a hobby. I really enjoy it. It's something I don't really share with people. I've done locksmithing since I was 15 with through the mail thing called Foley Bell Saw or Foley Bell Saw locksmithing, and I just thought it was really fun to pick locks and stuff like that. It's like a puzzle, you know. But anyway, I called someone else, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the company because they corrected it, and I don't want them to sound bad. I don't want to smear them. I mean, and they had a locksmith show up. This guy showed up in a dinky, broken little car in his pajamas and flip flops. And the guy was like 25 or 30-year-old Mid-Eastern guy. Extremely rude. Wanted to charge me $209. And I was like, absolutely not. And he kept telling me that that's what he charges everyone. That's the price. Then I told him, dude, the price everyone is 150. He started saying, really? Who? Tell me who? Who then? Who? Like that? Are you like trying to be aggressive? I told him, hold on one second. And I found the name of the place right across the street, down one block, and told them who it was. Like, fine, I don't want to argue with it. I'll just do it for 150 then. Oh, I should charge more because it's a semi. Because I only charge $209 for cars, and this is a semi, so it should be more than 209. Again, total lie. This guy starts really trying to get into this thing. And he shows up, and I'm like, or he pulls the wedges out. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? I told him, I got a locksmith so you wouldn't do that. He's like, I am a locksmith. I've done this many times. I've got years. And I'm like, dude, I was like, if you're a locksmith, you know locksmithing. You're using wedges to open up the door and get in that way. That's always a last resort. You never do that first. You do that last. Like we don't pick locks. I was like, okay, well I told him I called a locksmith, and this guy's just arguing with me. I'm like, fine, fine, get it done. He says, I told him I only have 20s on me, so I'll do it. I'll give you the 160 instead of 150. So he writes 160 on the ticket. I'm like, fine. He's in there trying to get in there, and people start showing up watching him laughing, and he looks like a homeless guy living out of his car. And I thought, this guy must be a contractor that they reached out to. He can't be working for the company I called. And I'm watching this guy, and I after about 2 minutes, someone comes up and whispers to me, said, you should have called a professional. I told him I actually called a professional company and this is what they sent me. And he's like, oh my God. It took this guy probably 15 minutes. Now, if you pick the lock, it takes around 10 to 15 seconds. This guy came in through the door with the wedge and it took him like 15 minutes, maybe 20. I was watching this. I'm thinking, there's no way this is real. There's no way this is real. And the guy again had a strong accent. He obviously wasn't from here. And I'm thinking, here's another example of someone coming into our country feeling like they have the right to commit fraud. And it's become very common. It's become very common now where it's like becoming expected, and that's not good, you know, because in America we want to be open to people to come in and be equal, but they come in and they choose not to be equal. And it's becoming a problem when people feel entitled to violate citizens' rights, you know? So after he got me in, I gave him 153 because it turned out I didn't have a bunch of 20s. I thought I had 240 bucks on me cash, and I don't know what happened. And I felt so stupid. So then he gets mad at me saying, "I put down 160 because you said 160." Blah, blah. Ugh. Then he's like, "Fine." He puts down 153. I'm like, "All right, well, thank you for that." He drives off, and I look at the thing, and it's like, okay, it's like that was ridiculous. And I thought I better call the company and report the locksmithing company they contracted out to me. And it turned out that it was their locksmith. I told him what was happening. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, it should never be more than 150. He says it ranges from 80 to 150. I was like, that's what I thought because that's the law. Just like with towing companies, there's a maximum. They're not allowed to go over 150. It's right. I still got to sue a towing company in Indiana for charging me 220 instead of the 150 to go 4 or 5 miles. So, um, he had he directed me to that fleet manager of the guy who, I think it's the guy who trains them and everything. But he was really concerned, and they Venmoed me $50 back. And he said he's going to call that guy right now and see what the hell's going on. And I thought, wow, here's something that would be ridiculous for someone to get away with and not be reported, right? It'd be absurd to think that you could do that and not have the customer call up your boss right away. But out here in the Midwest, I see it all the time where people feel entitled. People come uh, from the Midwest to California and are completely shocked and offended that they're not able to get away with committing crimes out there and committing so much fraud. They view it as their right. And we just let people get away with too much. I'm just so surprised, still, after being here 8.5 years, that this is common, that this is normal, and it just takes one person calling. And out here, it's not it's not completely mind-boggling that a person wouldn't do it. Out here, it blows people's minds that someone would call and inform them of that. It's crazy. And it's viewed as entitlement. Seriously, it is actually viewed as being entitled. So, you standing up for your right to other people feeling entitled to override your rights, their privilege, is viewed like you're the one. You know what I mean? I just can't understand it. I can't understand it, man. It's crazy. But yeah, stand up for yourselves, people.